In the vast lands of the Southern Rift, two mighty African kingdoms, Okana and Zubari, had been locked in war for over 2 decades. The conflict had begun over territory, but over time, it had grown into a war of pride, vengeance, and legacy. Prince Jabari, son of King Malu of Okana, was not just a warrior, he was a visionary who dreamed of peace. Against his father's wishes, he often disguised himself and fought alongside common soldiers to understand the true cost of war. During one brutal raid near the Zubari border, Jabari was separated from his unit. Injured, outnumbered, and unaware he was entering enemy territory, he was captured by the Zubari forces, unknown, unnamed, and without royal protection. The captors saw only another young soldier. His armor was stripped and his wounds tended just enough to keep him alive. They called him Ashimo, meaning no name in the Zubari tongue. He was placed in one of the central prisons where enemy captives rotted for years. But unlike the others, Ashimo was calm. He helped sick prisoners, shared his rations, spoke respectfully to the guards, and never complained. Within weeks, his kindness earned him an unusual reputation. Stories of the peaceful prisoner reached the palace, especially the ears of Princess Nia, the spirited and intelligent daughter of King Zubari. Curious, she requested his transfer to serve within the palace. Ashima was brought into the palace as a servant in the gardens and animal stables. He kept his head down, but his actions spoke louder than words. He tended injured birds with care, calmed wild horses, and treated all palace workers with quiet dignity. Princess Nia often saw him from her balcony, puzzled by how different he was from other prisoners or even her own guards. Over time, she began speaking with him, at first with caution, then with warmth. She asked about his past, but he always answered vaguely. As months passed, her admiration grew into affection. The way he listened, the way he never tried to impress her, this man, this mystery, was unlike any prince or noble she had ever met. Nia and Ashimo's bond deepened, though they kept their growing affection secret. Whispers spread among the staff. One day, a guard caught them walking in the gardens after dusk. The king summoned Ashimo, prepared to punish him. But Ashimo, calm as ever, said only, "If loving your daughter is wrong, then I will accept my punishment. But I have never once disrespected her honor." Impressed by his honesty and already aware of his peaceful nature, the king paused. After consulting with Nya, who tearfully defended Ashimo, the king surprised everyone. He granted them permission to marry. The court was shocked, a prisoner marrying royalty. But the king believed his daughter's happiness and Ashimo's noble spirit were more important than tradition. Preparations for a quiet royal wedding began, but the day before the ceremony, an old soldier from Okana, captured in a new skirmish, was brought to the Zubari dungeons. He recognized Ashimo instantly. "Ashimo is not a servant," he shouted. "He is Prince Jabari, heir to Okana." The palace erupted in disbelief. Naya confronted Ashimo, her heart torn between betrayal and awe, but Jabari bowed and revealed the truth. "I hid my name to survive, but I loved you without lies. I fought as a man, not a prince." The king, stunned, paced in silence for hours, but then, with unexpected wisdom, he said, "Perhaps the gods have sent us a sign." The wedding went forward, but now as a union between two royal bloodlines. When news reached Okana, King Malu was enraged, until he heard his son's voice in a letter. "Father, I found peace not with a sword, but with a heart." A delegation was sent. For the first time in 22 years, the two kingdoms sat at one table. With Jabari and Naya leading, a peace treaty was forged, based not on fear, but on love, respect, and shared loss. The people rejoiced. The wedding became a national celebration across both lands. The hidden prince had become the Prince of Peace. Years later, children across Okana and Zubari would hear the story of the prisoner who won hearts, the princess who chose wisely, and the war that ended not with blood, but with truth. King Jabari and Queen Nia ruled with balance and vision. Their first royal decree: all prisoners of war shall be treated with dignity. They built schools, clinics, and monuments, not to war heroes, but to healers, peacemakers, and the forgotten brave. And in the heart of the palace garden where they first walked together, a plaque reads, "Peace blooms where love dares to rise."